ton of, or has played a ton of. See if they want to ban it. An answer has been the Mundo. I think Malphite has a winning percentage against Mundo, but the matchup for Mundo is quite nice. You can't break the spell shield with ult, so you can never be hit by the ult. You can't be CC chained by that, but I'm interested to see if Tabe wants to go back towards that, if JunJia is willing to first pick it, or if Shun is actually willing to first pick it. So it is up here.
I could see it. I could see it for sure. I do like some of the primary pick bands that are coming through here in that Rise and the Aphelios band. I think Aphelios is just ridiculous still, and will remain to be so, as you know, the smiles are still there from BLG. So maybe the mental is still intact after that shellacking in game number 1. But there's that Malphite locked in for Shun.
The Inara answer, and BLG pretty high in the standings. I don't think it's probably pretty close to impossible for them to be out of contention in top 4. It will be very soon, at least, with some more wins. But the Nico Yunara, incredibly strong bot lane duo. I think Nico is really, really strong. But MF would mean a lot more of a wombo combo. You could go the Ashe Seraphine into the Nico lane. That would be a lot nicer. Of a lane specifically, Braum as well could be an option. It is just going to be the Seraphine. That does make sense. It's a much easier lane. It's a wombo combo. BLG kind of going towards, okay, no more side lane. Let's just team fight. These guys want to scrap. They want to throw hands. We'll do the same thing.
We're not going to give ourselves the room to mess up, all right? We're just going to go 5-on-5, mano-a-mano, and see what happens. The Seraphine Ashe is just a disgusting lane to face off against in the bot lane, especially in that 2v2. Really need to see how they're going to work around that and how quickly Shun is going to visit that bot lane. The Mundo, which has been a good answer into the Malphite, typically is going to be the lock-in for JunJia.
So BLG's comp don't have too many tools that break into spell shield right now. Sometimes if you just slam the Mundo against Malphite, it can be risky because you can just get placed up against a ton of CC and the Mundo matchup doesn't really matter. But this game, it's a bit hard. You know, On doesn't have guaranteed confirm. Viper would have to ult for it. So JunJia feeling a bit more comfortable on this Mundo. Now, my interest here is the mid lane matchup. Both of them have gone... We've seen a lot in the last year or even like 14 months of top mid jungle being played first and then supports being a bit later on, ADCs being a bit later on. But both times, or JDG at least, have picked their bot lane early in the draft, leaving mid up for later. So both these teams want to give Knight and HongQ the best chance they can. Akali ban, Sion ban as well. And Bessa is up. Something that has been super strong. Renekton obviously still up into that. Would be nice for both these teams. Renekton into Mundo is a decent matchup. Obviously not, this isn't Mundo top, but it's still a good matchup in the team fights. But, I mean, yeah, Syndra, Talia, Galio, which has fallen off a lot. The Talia is a really big one for me here, I think.
All right, we'll see if they believe so as well. The Renekton does end up getting banned away alongside Bin's Sion, and it will be the Akali ban towards HongQ, so trying to take away some of that melee mid-assassin action. But I still very much look forward to what HongQ wants to pick alongside JunJia's Mundo.
Renekton ban tells me that JDG probably are looking towards the Ambessa. Really the only reason you would ban away a Renekton here... They don't. I would say that JDG don't want to go. They want to keep their mid pick for last, so they're going to go Ambessa here, I would imagine.
That's some respect, Jbetto. They're like, Xiaoxu, we've seen the clip. We don't want it. We're good. We're good. Game 2, nah.
No more Zehen. No more circle. Is the Ambessa. Knight, what do you have? What do you have? I mean, for the Ambessa, could just be an Ornn. Right? Could be a Gwen as well. Could go into the Ambessa, but yeah, Jax, that's fine too. I think the mid lane matchup is super important here. Rise ban, no Orianna, no Ziggs. What can Knight pull out? Is it the Ahri to come out with the Bin Jax?
Oh, man.
Bin Gnar, actually. It's a bit of a tougher matchup, I will say, but Knight's smiling a little bit. Does he have the Aurora? Oh, not a ton of damage is on this team for the Mundo. I'm a little concerned for their damage later on in the game. They have a lot of burst, but Mundo likes burst. You need to one-shot the Mundo. That's not happening. So HongQ here, pick something that allows you to roam, allows you to fight with your Yunara. And BLG, they've got great team fighting ults. I like the circles comp. They've definitely got a great identity. Ooh.
I just don't think you ever want to fight into a 5v5 against that team. I feel like if you can't find an in, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be just a wall that you're going to have to face up against BLG. But something that works beautifully for some of that team fight angle will be the Galio that has been locked in for HongQ.
Fallen off a little bit, but I mean, I wanted roaming mid, play with your Yunara. It could be an AP Galio, but this is Gala's game. This is bot lane's game. It is so volatile, right? Double range support, Ashe, Yunara, Nico, Seraphine. Everyone path bot all game. Nothing else matters. Fight around bot. Exciting. I like that game plan. Dragon stacking super important. No more Chemtech Soul, please. Infernal Soul.
All right. Just add a little bit more juice to the fire, but this is definitely a different take on a draft for BLG comparatively to that game number 1. And for a majority of that game number 1, it went swimmingly for them. So now they're saying we're going to rely on a cold comfort that BLG had gone to for years past in this kind of team fight centric draft. And I'm very curious with some of the niche kind of answers here from JDG. I mean, they showed so much grit, so much tenacity in that game number 1, and now they're willing to play with that a little bit more. Go with something that, you know, has a lot of utility into the picks that BLG have grabbed.
Viper, this is a game as well where he needs to be on with Knight. Both players, specifically Knight, didn't have the best game 1, but Viper on this Ashe, it can be super playmaking with the Seraphine, with these ults to allow your Aurora to do damage with this massive team fighting comp. If BLG can get off to, I mean, we could have said that last game, get off to a great start here. It would be really important.
It would be indeed. We're getting to game 2 now. It is JDG versus BLG for the second round robin.
God, that's hopping me up.
It's the beauty of LPL, baby. Whoever's doing the JDG call, like the chant leader, my God, get that person into a booth and start doing some VOs, because he's got a beautiful voice. As any runes here that pique your fancy?
I mean, a lot of cashbacks. Actually, no, there's only 2. I'm surprised. Cashback. Oh, no, there's only, two. I can't see. Triple tonic, cashback. Mostly, I guess the Grasp and Besser is pretty interesting. That's a nice one, but Electrocute Aurora means business in the mid lane. It should be push for mid Aurora, but look at where the junglers are starting. This is really what's catching my eye. Both of these players know it's all about bot lane. We are going bot lane all game. Fight bot lane. HongQ on the Galio. Again, a player that has been very driving in JDG's wins. On the Galio, it's great for the roam, for the protection. It's got a decent matchup into Aurora, and the Seraphine is nice too, but taking HongQ off of a potential carry, putting all of your eggs in the Gala basket with Vampire, who, again, Pog last game, so very nice performance from Vampire. Up against an amazing team fighting draft from BLG. Last game they had the side lanes. This game they've got these ults. They have the R button comp. And already the pressure from this Ashe Seraphine lane is looking a bit difficult for JDG to deal with. And -1.
Maybe enough in chat.
Well, that CS is brutal.
Is going to be not very fun. From the you know, mid lanes, you that mid is a long truck.
3 pushing lanes for BLG is a really nice way to start. Jesus, nice W from HongQ for some damage resistance. But the 3 pushing lanes, this is what 3 pushing lanes means, right? You can roam out, push JunJia out, get his flash early. No access to this bot scuttle, so JunJia will have to go top and get it unless he really wants to flip? That would be really risky.
I'm here for the early flip. I mean, they have so much pressure on bot lane, and now Gala, he's going to be slowed down, has to cleanse because the slow plus the E does end up meaning the root comes down. JunJia going to try to visit towards mid lane now onto Knight. Knight should be just fine, but the early machinations were towards bot lane for BLG.
He's pushing lanes means that Xun can really go wherever he wants, and Malphite is a much stronger champion at level 6. I mean, he is one of the strongest at level 6 specifically champions, but against Mundo, who really wants time, items, beyond just ult, right? At max, you want level 16, you want level 3 ult, you want 2-3 items, sustain, you want to be able to run down this bot lane of the Ashe, the Seraphine, and then the Aurora as well, although Aurora's a little more slippery. But as soon as Xun hits level 6, with these pushing lanes, Xiaoxu, careful. Alright, well, sorry, Bin will have to take a base, but does have the TP. But when Xun hits level 6, if these lanes remain pushing, he can just go wherever he wants. It's kind of like the early game from Game 1, where Pantheon can just send it onto any lane. We do know what happened in Game 1. Hopefully that doesn't happen again for BLG.
You'd hope so, as Xun going to combine with Knight for a little bit of an invade there. Not going to find too much. I think he maybe just got a couple of little chicky nuggies. But it is going to be pretty quiet on the Rift. I mean, I do wonder if the early dragons do change from last game. We have our first dragon. It's an Infernal Dragon, so maybe upping that ante just a tiny bit. But first dragon in the first game of the series didn't come through till like 13 minutes. So do wonder if that changes as we move forward, but a lot of reservations so far on the map.
BLG not wanting to overstep anything too far. They most likely were spoken to by each other, by Danny after that Game 1. Although this is the biggest difference so far, is that in Game 1, HongQ was given Knight the hands, right, on the Ziggs. This game, Knight has full priority over midwave, full agency to roam wherever he needs to, which right now is nowhere. And JunJia on the Malphite, even if he roams here, this means nothing. It looks scary, it doesn't. Knight is completely fine. He has flash, he has ult. JunJia can't close the gap at all, even with ult, even if he had it. Knight might have to flash, might have to use ult, but he is completely fine. If JunJia was on Vi, Malphite, Jarvan, it's way more scary, but Mundo walks at you, and Aurora's just like, okay, I'm just going to hop over the wall, take some trade, lose some minions. Okay, sure. It helps HongQ get a base off. That's great, but no, it's completely fine.
A little bit of trading here ahead of the scuttle. Both junglers wanted to position around it. They're very close to level 6s. I think that's going to mean a lot. But because BLG have been pushing constantly on bot side, they have free movement towards this scuttle. It will mean, though, that HongQ got that re-push in mid lane, so he'll be here as well.
He hit level 6. Xun's level 6 here off this crab.
Xun did end up getting that, and there goes the engaged, the unstoppable force being used, and now the damage from Viper is really reigning supreme here. HongQ can't run away. He has to flash. You have to be really careful, because once they start chasing you down, you cannot escape. That'll be one big pick and the dragon to BLG.
It's a really nice play from Xun. Focuses the scuttle crab so that he levels up to 6 and is able to use it. Flash from Knight.
That's crazy. He thinks he had enough damage. Now he's going to go for the gank on bot lane. As Knight's being a little heavy-handed here. He's going to back them off a little bit. Take a decent amount of health trade, and he doesn't really have anything to get back to mid lane. So now he's going to be about a quarter health, have to back and go back to mid lane. He was on vision, though, so he'll have to wait a little bit longer.
Knight wants to fight. And again, this is a player so storied in the LPL who needs to be the spearhead of his team and does so pretty well in their win so far, or has done well so far. JunJia has ult.
He's looking for an angle into Bin. Bin just got Mega, so it's going to be coming down here sooner rather than later. Xiaoxu just buying the time, and Bin realizes he is all for naught here. He needs to find an exit strategy. Going to use the jump, missing the public execution is Xiaoxu, and Bin going to walk his way away. Can he get away? He will be spotted by the scrying orb. Vampire going for the double, gets that as the tangles hit, and HongQ is just waiting on the other side. Doesn't even need him. Gala will get the kill at BLG. They're falling apart.
JunJia will be able to take Bin up here.
No
if you could donate
way.
this kill, it would be really nice as well. He will be able to donate it, but oversteps from BLG. Bin losing out on the flash, dying to the gank. And Viper and On, we only checked down there as Vampire was flashing in, but it looked like Viper and On, were past the tier 1 tower looking to proxy and deny some farm, but Vampire, disguised as a minion with a really nice flash, catches both members, and On, without his ult, couldn't peel away. This is the 3 grubs over, or at least it'll be 2 right now, tentatively. 2 over to JDG, as Xun will be able to stand here and take up this third one, unless JunJia has the biggest mental of all time. No, he won't be able to get that third one, but JunJia still feeling confident
to be a body
to stick
fight
around
for this
here.
scuttle, though. Does seem like JunJia's overextending a little bit. Does have Xiaoxu right behind him. JunJia waiting here. Doesn't really have the ulti. Doesn't have any way out. Rogue Entrance going to come in, but Xun had already found the kill there in the end. Bin is about to get Meganar. HongQ is going to be in a lot of trouble now, too. The taunt comes through. They get Bin before he goes Mega.
Xiaoxu?
Now Knight is in a lot of trouble. HongQ trying to get a little bit of distance here. Goes back in, gets the knockup, and the kill goes to Xiaoxu. A double kill goes over, and he's going to chase down Xun. We've seen Ambessa's run the map before, and Xiaoxu will find himself a triple kill.
Give me some Lila. Give it to me right now. A scrap over a scuttle crab. It looked like JunJia was really overextending. We take a look back at this. So why? Gala's by himself is why. Really nice cleanse. And then On and Viper look to proxy, but that minion looks very suspect. They actually know they just can't get away. There's nothing they can do about it. Maybe could have flashed over the wall, but HongQ on the roam, called by Knight, means that you have to just run directly down the lane. Really nice flash. But here, JunJia has no ult. This looks really suspect, as JDG kind of just let BLG walk in. The ult from HongQ is really late, but the trust in Xiaoxu to get this triple kill down members. HongQ has barely any mana. First kill is good. Somehow HongQ has enough mana and lives long enough for the knock-up. That gets the second one. And, I mean, Ambessa champion, unfortunately, Xiaoxu's champion was made after yours was, so it gets 10 billion dashes. There is the Tabe cam. He's hyped up. He knows that was an important triple kill.
I wanted that in game number 1. And we get it in game number 2. Really nice comeback. But you got to think BLG was at about a 2,000 gold lead, a little bit less than that. Now it's dead even for both. And some of this kind of tankiness, some of this stalwartness that JDG's comp has really centers around Xiaoxu and Gala being the damage dealers. And Xiaoxu already having 4 kills with an Eclipse already completed is going to help in that fashion.
Are we diving this? Looks like JunJia wants to. This is hard.
Mega.
No Mega for Bin.
He has 3 long swords, 2 an Eclipse, and a Tunneler by Xiaoxu. Bin will see nothing, and he will go down 0-3.
HongQ's giving mid priority and plates to defend his bot lane because he knows Xun's going to make a play down here in the bot lane. No flash on Viper, but he does have ult. Gala should be safe here. Really nice save cover from HongQ. On this Galio, losing plates is okay. He needs to keep his bot lane alive.
That's the biggest importance here. Gala getting to a point of promise. Meanwhile, Xiaoxu is just racking up the gold. 2,000 gold up on the top side of the map now. BLG will try to lick their wounds and go for another neutral objective. They will be able to get this second dragon for themselves, so it will be a mountain dragon as well.
No no Infernal Drake, no Mountain Soul. What's it going to be? Hextech Soul would be high roll of the century here. So much slow in AoE damage. Ocean Soul is not too bad, but means that BLG aren't as bailed out by the soul. Down this much gold in top lane, the side lane is going to be a real issue for Bin to deal with. Maybe if it was a Hex Soul or even a Cloud Soul, you'd have the potential of stacking up the Drakes, but I don't think Ocean Soul, denying it from Mundo is great, but Vampire, oh, nice catch.
Beautiful stop by On and Viper there, knowing what was coming. Couldn't even flash from that one for Viper. The game goes a little bit wide for JDG. But as we take a look at the map state here, we are starting to get some of these quest completions coming through. And we will have more objectives coming up as well. But it is right now bot lane and mid for BLG that have everything completed.
The good news for BLG is that Viper's first item, right, everywhere outside the top is winning. Okay, it's pretty small. You know, Knight has the kill, a tiny CS lead. Viper's got the big CS lead from that early game. And they do still have this really good team fighting draft. Gala will pick up the Kraken Slayer as well, so it is very close. But they're only down in top lane. The bad news is that it's 2,000 gold to an Embessa. If Xiaoxu can piggyback this lead, JDG again with a dive.
I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Ben will lose
really
his turret.
smart.
He'll lose his life. He's trying to go Mega Gnar, but he gets locked down by the Tangle Barbs anyways by Vampire. And JunJia, with the help, will end up helping Xiaoxu get the kill. And that'll be a big amount of gold now sunk into JDG's pockets. Turrets down and about 2,000 gold up. Gala in some trouble now. Flash away from Shun. Well done. As the convergence
Xiaoxu's
will
coming
be
in.
proc. TP coming in. Oh, goodness. Shun knows trouble was coming. He immediately flashes. The rest of JDG on their way. Public execution right onto Shun. He has no exit strategy. He is down 4 levels to Xiaoxu, and Vampire will get the kill onto him. JunJia is running down Viper here, but needs to be a little bit careful. Yeah, the Encore comes through. JunJia has to get away. He's healing a decent amount now, though, but it is going to be pulled away from by JDG. Still, they get what they came for.
There's just not enough damage to chew through this Mundo, but it's a great bait from Xiaoxu, who covers mid with his TP. He backsteps and then goes in. Taking a look back at this replay here, is this just the same play again? So this is, I don't know what we were looking at there. Maybe I missed something.
It was how Gala got like half health or so.
Right. And then Shun comes around, goes for the ult, but Xiaoxu does this like step thing where he's going in and out, and then as he turns back to look like he's running away, he ults in on Shun, who's not ready to dodge it. This Embessa, 2,500 gold lead. He has 2 items before Bin has 1.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I still go back to the fact that this is, for JDG, a Tabe-coached team. BLG was once a Tabe-coached team. AL was once a Tabe-coached team. Will it be the difference? Like, Tabe having the inside info on all these teams, it just feels like it's paying off dividends. The preparation, the strategy is just there. And yeah, apparently, as JunJia doesn't realize everything was coming his way.
There it is.
Gala now in a lot of trouble as well, and BLG have come online. Oh, Xiaoxu
1v4.
just took a 1v4. Pop Blossom's going to do a little bit of awesome stuff here, and TP's coming in now. Xiaoxu gets 1, going for another, flashing away and dashing away. He's going to survive. HongQ coming in with this TP. He's going to find distance, and he's going to find a kill with Vampire. Xiaoxu is still alive. JDG strike back.
This JDG team is so confident, no? Even when they're down numbers, okay, it's a 2,500 gold lead. How many tops in the league take that fight as Xiaoxu and live, getting the kills? They were down a lot there. JDG somehow pull out a win on Xiaoxu's back. Great TP in from HongQ, and Vampire somehow wraps around behind with a nice ult as well. We take a look back here. So Vampire is already on the roam behind. He's waiting off of Vision. They're already setting up this play. It's just that JunJia gets engaged on first. The CC chain, this is Mundo's kryptonite. Gala gets taken down as well. But here, Xiaoxu is going in as Vampire says, oh, it doesn't look good. Xiaoxu says, no, we go in and we win. And they absolutely do.
This little dash flash is nasty.
He was dead there if he didn't flash.
He was predicting the move from Shun as well, try to go for the public execution over the top. Would have gotten a big shield from that as well. But now we come back to point and present. Dragon is up. We've got Soul Point available for BLG.
Vampire's just a pink ward sitting in the bush there, I think. Anyway, little Vampire action on this Nico. He's now Embessa, but Embessa down the bot lane is doing a lot.
I mean, Ben's going to get Magna. He blocks the whole team. What a play. Xiaoxu, you are a monster. He just blocked the ulti with the public execution. A double kill for HongQ, and BLG are losing themselves in this series.
Who is playing on Xiaoxu's PC right now? What an
It's him, baby.
unbelievable
The best
performance.
player of JDG in 2025 comes back with a vengeance in 2026.
This is the franchise player potential coming over from 2025 now. Down Drake, sure, but 3,000 gold lead individually for Xiaoxu. 3.7k up for JDG. Remember, if JDG don't fight with this ambassador, it doesn't look like that, but they play so well together. Xiaoxu is winning the 1v2 by himself against Knight and Bin. Against Knight and Bin. Catches Knight with the public execution. The CC chain one-shots Knight. The synergy on this team is unreal.
Xiaoxu has leveled up time and time again. That might rival the Zahen play. I mean, that was incredible. That, and just before then, going into a 1v4. I mean, this guy is just incredibly confident, and it shows off in his play. Now, JDG, oh no. Oh no. Viper thinks that it's the real deal. Goes for the ulti and will end up having that one down. The cooldown is short, but it's not that short.
Only the top two teams, Zell, go to first stand. BLG feels or has felt like a shoo-in. The conversations about AL, maybe Weibo, IG, and JDG as well are making such a great argument for themselves, making it to split 2 in Ascend, cementing themselves as a top team in the world, going to first stand potential. We're still a while away. Don't want to get myself too ahead of us. But JDG have looked really good against BLG. They've made mistakes in games against IG, against Weibo. But it seems like they just have the answer to BLG right now.
It just seems to be their kryptonite at this point. Might need to change that crocodile graphic. I don't know. JDG just seemed to have every answer to BLG at this point, and it just comes all out of that decision-making confidence that we've seen from them. And we got to take a look at the map states right now, because we've got 2 items aplenty on JDG, still lacking a few, especially for Bin, who's very far behind, but starting to get up to that second item completion there for BLG as well. So let's take stock, and is this a possibility for BLG to kind of scale out of this hole they've dug themselves into?
They do have the 2 Drakes, so they have the benefit of waiting the Drakes out. Ocean Soul with Mundo and Besser at this point is very scary, but the individual Ocean Drakes a little bit of sustain in lane. It doesn't really matter too much, so BLG are able to give up a ton of dragons and wait. The problem is, what are they waiting for? Because Xiaoxu is going to continue to put on pressure on the side lane, and this JDG team is not just going to get Drakes. They're not just going to let you sit there and farm. BLG might want to farm, they might want time, but JDG with the stranglehold on game 1 once they got it, JunJia takes a bit of a chunk here, but look where Gala is. He's so split up.
JunJia's just playing with them, waiting for HongQ to get the angle on him now. Viper in a 1v1 needs to be saved here. Heroic entrance coming in. The Pop Blossom not going to be enough to get Viper. Viper is still free and dandy, but here comes Xiaoxu. He's going straight for Viper, straight for the Fangs, and he's found him. A 1v1 against the top lane. You're never going to win that as an ADC, and he will be taken down. JDG dropping BLG down a peg and trying to make this group ascend a little bit closer.
And they sure are, because Group Ascend is so destroyed at the moment. I don't know whether it's the circle of suck or the circle of good. We have yet to see whether everyone is, what the level internationally is, but JDG look really good. BLG don't need to walk in here. Maybe they're fishing for some vision, trying to find a pick onto JunJia. That's a Malphite. That's a Mundo. That's probably not happening. I was just talking about, you're asking me what can BLG do? Give up Drakes and scale. Instead, they show up. HongQ has a great flank position. BLG have 0 wards here. They're sitting on 1 pink and no ward. Look at the map. They see nothing and they're just like, we just have to fight. I don't necessarily think they do, but BLG send the trigger and Xiaoxu, my God.
Please tell me ADC is balanced. Although I will say that initial flash, I don't know where Viper goes, but flashing there and forcing his old team to move down is going to be troublesome for sure. But it's just been positioning mistakes, again, by BLG, and maybe even fight mistakes. They're, like you were saying, not really needing to fight that one. And now they find themselves at a 5,000 gold deficit ahead of a team that is extremely strong when they group up as 5.
And how do you get through this Ambassador? 3 items in at 23 minutes, level 16. He's going to be level 20 before too long. If Knight isn't careful, like, if anyone steps up to this Ambassador ever, they are instantly dead. This is like, feels like release Ambassador, you know, when no one really knew what she was doing and 1 HP, nice. 2 dragons, again, the dragons aren't super important in this game, but the gold lead is Gala actually going for the Phantom Dancer this game. Fiend Hunter Bolts has been getting played a bit, but and is getting buffed as well. But going the Phantom Dancer this game for a little bit more kiting potential, going towards the Infinity Edge after some mirrored builds for the ADC. But this Yunara champion does so much more damage than Ashe at later stages of the game. Xiaoxu, the crocodile lurking in the waters, Mazel, trying to bite down on BLG again.
Apparently so. They just didn't know he was in the water. I got to give also massive props to JunJia with his positioning in a lot of these fights, but especially HongQ. HongQ has had time-saving plays in the side lanes multiple times. He's on kind of a non-carry champion. Yes, he's got a Magi's. He's got 13 stacks, so whoop-de-doo about that. But he is on a more utilitarian champion, and he's finding so much value with it. It's stopping BLG in their tracks every time he takes the heroic entrance.
And the confidence from JDG to play this style when your bot lane is losing as hard as it is. If Viper and On could push more out of that bot lane, and a huge part of that is HongQ's covers on bot lane. That was massive, super important for this game. But if Viper and On will up a similar amount of gold, this game would not look how it does. But JunJia plays up top with Xiaoxu, gives him this big lead. They're confident to take that 3v3 that JunJia dies at the start of around the Herald and let their bot lane graciously lose. Now they're up 600 gold, which is a bit...
The catch,
Viper's just dead
they found
again.
Viper at just 100-0 before he can even do anything. He had barrier, but I don't think it mattered. JDG find another moment to capitalize on BLG's weaknesses. A turret will go down as well, and this lead is ballooning. Xiaoxu is just God among men.
I don't want to downplay Xiaoxu. You have to hit it. That's Viper on the other side. If you watch 2025 Viper, you're hitting Viper with that's a really impressive ult, but this is troubling signs for BLG. Yes, they're 4-1 in the group. I still expect them to do really well in playoffs, to be a favorite to go to first stand. But this has been a consistent issue that I've been watching with Viper being caught by himself. Again, whose issue is that? There's only so many times I can say that until it's like, okay, it has to be fixed. Viper cannot be consistently caught off. Yes, fine. Xiaoxu's up 3.5k, but you can't catch this mid wave. This is not allowed. Maybe it's a vision issue. You could say that, well, there's no vision, so Viper doesn't know. There's still no one to help him. Does he even live without that? Maybe not, but it's still troubling signs for BLG.
It is indeed, and starting to struggle to find ways into these fights now as well. You have about 2 minutes for another dragon. It would be a 3rd ocean dragon in a row for JDG, but still about a 6k gold lead now for them. 3 items have been completed for Gala as well, as you got that 3rd item for HongQ. And a lot of these mistakes, a lot of these positions from BLG comes from a good place, but you just have a couple overextensions like right here where Viper was pushing up into the wave, and now all of BLG is caught with no turrets, no defense, and no nothing. That's going to be a big pick straight onto On. Viper will make it away, but that's ahead of all these fights, ahead of all these advantages that JDG has.
You can't disrespect this JDG roster. You cannot disrespect them by walking up mid like that with no vision in the brush. Look at the map. Is there any red wards in front of that mid river? No, not one. So BLG have no idea where JDG is at all times.
Oh,
Ben will go into rage. He might be able to get out, but JDG
they're
might
like
just
surrounding him right now. They've got even JunJia, or Vampire rather, going over to see if they can find him. I don't know if they want to chase him around
though. Could be a lot of time. Maybe BLG could do Baron at the time. That's
big
mega
reset ahead of Dragon.
Yeah, 40 seconds how do you get in for BLG? Everybody has flash outside of Vampire on JDG's side. And yeah, BLG have ults. They have flashes on their own, right? But you're down so much gold from this Mbessa. If Mbessa lands onto Viper, onto Knight, they are instantly one-shot with the follow-up from HongQ. It's a really nice, like, two-man dive comp that JDG have been playing. Xiaoxu's got ult back up. Level 17 now, working on his 4th item. It is only soul point, so BLG can give it up, but they haven't been willing to give up any dragons so far.
And if this continues to be
true,
okay, Xiaoxu just finds on at the tip of his weapon. And that'll be another big pick. Viper's trying to chase down HongQ, but can't do so in the face of Xiaoxu. JunJia going to walk back over to the dragon. This dragon will be forfeit by BLG, so there goes a 3rd Ocean Dragon to JDG. And at this point, they got to start thinking when they want to start threatening Baron.
There is just nothing On can do. No flash. Xiaoxu gets ult. He's just ripping it in mid. He will be completing 4 items soon. He's up 4,000 gold on Ben. Any time that JDG want to pull the trigger, they have the tools to, and they will. They'll probably wait for this ult to come back up for Xiaoxu to have the public execution once again. But where have the Shun ults been? I know that it's not really going to matter this game. You're down 7,000 gold, but there was one ult at that dragon when they got the scuttle. Other than that, it's been such a quiet game from BLG. No side lane play with Ash ult. They feel like in this game, they didn't really show up after the first couple of minutes looked good. Bin started losing the game. They found no punchback after that.
And I'm just still like, if this goes through, if this remains to be true and JDG win, how mind-boggling is it that BLG wiped the floor with every single other team in the league, at least in Group Ascend, and they lose twice 2-0 to JDG? We'll see if they can close that one out. JunJia's being ran down now by Viper and BLG. Here comes the Rogue entrance. All they need is Xiaoxu to find an entrance onto the backline. Xiaoxu is here. He's chunking down Shun. Big pop blossom on 2. Public execution right onto Viper, and Viper is no longer in the fight. Gets flashed on by JunJia. JunJia gets the kill there in the end. Bin is trying to do something, but he has no more Meganar, and now Xiaoxu has found his promise yet again. He finds another kill, and JDG will walk away a little bit hurt, a little bit bleeding, but still on the better of it.
Respect to BLG for giving it a go.
Okay, that was close.
They cannot take down JunJia. JDG can just do whatever they want, Mazel. They're just walking in under tower. HongQ will die. Xiaoxu, there's a big shot down.
Does. It's a lot of gold.
Oh, but it's on.
It went over to On.
On took it. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That is brutal. That's a 1,000 gold there gone over. And Knight will have wanted that big time. But they do hold on a little bit, at least, in this fight.
This guy just takes no damage. He is just walking up and solo killing On. Vampire uses the spellbook cleanse, it looks like there. But JunJia procs ult, and he's just getting hit for 10 solid seconds and doesn't drop below 1,000 HP. Vampire, really nice ult. Xiaoxu's here for the follow-up. JDG overextend here. They are feeling very confident, playing with their gold lead, and do give over some kills. So it is what it is. I wouldn't, read too much into that. Maybe you could make a mention of it if Knight got this 1,000 gold, but the fact that On gets it is very upsetting. HongQ gives over how much gold?
I think it's 1,000, maybe 1,100. Let's see.
It's a decent amount tonight, but if he was able to get that one too.
Yeah. My God,
so
that damage from Knight. Insane. Almost 8,800 damage from this setup in the mid lane when things were not going well for them. He was still able to get a ton of damage down. And he'll be on almost 4 items now as well, but still lacking in some ways. He's the only real gold lead for BLG in terms of matchup-dependent ones. But we got about a minute and a half for this Dragon, Jbetto, so tell me how BLG approaches one, because you don't want to give an Ocean Soul to this team comp.
Wards would be a great start, but how do you set them up? Bin is still
you
down.
can't.
Vampire.
You get double clicked by this pop blossom of Vampire, getting hit by the Tangle Barbs as well, but a lot of damage from Knight. Right back, Xiaoxu misses the public execution, and now JunJia will be ran down. There's the ulti from Shun. Heroic entrance coming back in to try to save the day. A lot of healing from JunJia once he popped his ultimate. Xiaoxu is still waiting in the wings, and BLG find a big pick.
Okay, hold on. JDG go too fast. Vampire can't connect with the rest of his team. BLG, they smell blood in the water. They know this is their chance. They're going to look at Baron. HongQ has TP'd back in. This is a lose the game play here if this doesn't work out, but BLG, they have to make it.
BLG gonna force the hand. Bin goes for the Meganar ulti. Will be down Meganar now. Going on to On, but HongQ trying to split focus. JunJia in the pit. It's not gonna go. Shun ends up getting the Baron, and now BLG feel like they can maybe fight their way out of this one. JDG back away from the pit, and that's gonna be a big pickup from BLG. Knight can't get picked here. Xiaoxu gonna run him down now, but realizes Knight is pretty strong at this point, and JDG will be forced to back away, but there's another fight on the horizon.
Shun's ult is coming back up, but JunJia doesn't have his. Xiaoxu will.
Ooh.
Knight.
Xiaoxu is here. They're going to get a full send from Shun. Xiaoxu can't really do much now as HongQ forced to back away. The ult comes through, but is going to just hit onto the clone, and now they found the pick onto HongQ. Gala maybe finding his moment now, but JunJia's just going to be ran down, and BLG find another pick. They are strong together, and we said it from the draft. No way we get two giant comeback games in a row.
What the hell is happening in the LPL? JDG overstep again and again. I was getting ready to say, okay, the Baron is taken by BLG, but JDG have prior around this Drake. It's 30 seconds on JunJia, 20 seconds on HongQ. Gala has ult up. Xiaoxu is still 3,000 gold in the lead. BLG, can they end?
No way they win this. No way. What is this series as BLG claw their way back after a couple of overextensions from JDG?
That's what they have.
They're going to take down the turrets. Here goes Xiaoxu. He's trying to get the last dash effort. Knight goes in, trying to kill Gala. Gala is going to take him down, though, in the end. Now, double knockup, but BLG still have numbers, still have strength, still have momentum at BLG. They will not be outdone in comeback fashion, and that's 1-1 in the series.
What is happening? What is happening? This
Whoever
is your two
wins
best
early
teams.
game loses the game.
I don't care what you say. This is the LPL. I was here. Two back-to-back massive throws. The first one by BLG, the second one by JDG. That one was even worse because it was within a minute and a half. BLG were up and they lost. JDG were up and they lost the entire game. That looked like an open and closed game. Conversations about JDG mistakes against Weibo, sure, but being the best team in the league now, it's Knight. It is Knight.
Knight, 100%.
It's Knight.
It's disgusting that On and Bin are getting votes right now. But what, like, it's so crazy. Both these games are just off of overextensions of confident players who have a lot of gold and just throw themselves into positions that they normally would not if they weren't that far ahead. And when you do that in this day and age of League of Legends, the comeback mechanics are brutal. They instantly catch back up, and you lose so much momentum.
If BLG couldn't end on that Baron, there's a conversation, okay, BLG get the Drake, they deny the soul, but it's okay, you know? JDG is still in a fine spot. They just made some mistakes, but with that Baron, with the fight, they end right then and there. That's a huge part of that. If JDG could stabilize, defend the push, but they can't. So BLG reverses the script and gets a... I can't wait for this gold graph too, because it's going to be just as bad as the first one. I'm happy to be here. The LPL is incredibly fun to watch. I hope everyone's enjoying it. Happy Australia Day, everybody. It's just ticked over to the next day. But
it's all upside down and down under. I don't know. I'm trying to find something.
I'm always upside down.
Oh my God. I just wouldn't have it any other way. I was wondering if BLG were just going to fall 2-0 again to JDG, but there's no way this team does that, and we see it there. Triumphant scream, a roar, whatever you want it to be from BLG. But my God, both teams' mentals are very well worn at this point in this series.
So, if we squint, BLG actually won game 1. You know, they had the gold lead, they closed it out. JDG had the lead in this game, they closed that out. There were never any throws.
Yeah, no,
right?
never.
There's no throws in LPL. It doesn't happen. And we're just 1-1. These teams are obviously very closely together. As well, JDG went to 3 games against AL as well. Maybe this is kind of a situation where JDG just kind of loses to the lower down teams, again, in asterisks with quotation marks, IG, Weibo, but this top 3, if it is BLG, JDG, and AL, this top 3 looks very competitive.
It really does. And, I mean, top 4 is what matters in Group Ascend, but if BLG loses this, if BLG wins, I think conversation's a little bit different. Yes, question marks on how they came about this. If they lose, Group Ascend goes wild, and it just goes insane. It's not as crazy as a gold swing in that kind of 5-minute plan, but it's still a wild one when you think of how in control it felt like JDG was.
If the game had continued going and like 5 more minutes, the graph would be further along. It would look worse. Because the only reason it doesn't look so bad is because the game is over.
It's
the graph ends
at the end.
This game night, this is what I like to see. This is the best player in the LPL for the last 3 years. 86% kill participation, the most damage in the game. I don't know why he's not getting MVP votes. I love a good support MVP vote. It was all night.
It was. There's no way he doesn't get MVP, I think, in this one. I mean, that one fight, he did like 9,000 damage on the Aurora, and we were kind of questioning the Aurora coming out of the draft. We're saying, is this really the pick that Knight wants to change the game on? And for a lot of this game, it felt like no. But all you need is a little bit of scaling, finally hitting those 3-4 items, and a couple things go your way. And he really picked through a lot of the damage that was coming in and was able to find a lot of fights that were super favorable for BLG because of the setup that he was able to provide. But you got to think what could have been for JDG.
These highlights are bizarre because it's all just
it's
JDG
all BLG
just dunking on
killed.
BLG, just getting steamrolled, and they won the game. Not a single highlight here so far has been BLG in any positive way. Again, some gold given over here, sure. Overextension.
This is the fight that was kind of a backbreaker.
They've done this in the past in the LPL where they oversend when they're in great leads. Again, coaches yelling at their players, this is a good Tabe. Like, guys, we need to reel it in. This is ridiculous. We were up so much gold, but even here, you're out. Why do we have to go back in for the kills? Xiaoxu,
like, he gets out and then goes back in twice. 2 times.
That first kill onto Nico was a lot of gold. But then this is it. Like, this is one fight. We can't kill Knight. Not everyone is ready. And there is all of a sudden enough damage with Knight and with Viper to take down the front line. The damage is already been dealt here. JunJia can't do anything. He doesn't even need the spell shield broken. He just straight up dies, and that's it. We walk into aggressively. JDG aren't connected for one singular fight, and the game is over.
Yeah, and while Knight dies there, he literally takes on like the entirety of JDG so that the rest of his team can kind of finish the game. And beautiful stuff in the last 5 minutes from BLG. Besides that, I think a lot of question marks still, but it is still a team that you can never disrespect, much like JDG, and that you always have to close the lid on, because if you don't, they have these superstar players that can absolutely just change the game at the flick of a button, it feels like. And we'll see who gets the player of the game. I do expect to be Knight, and that would continue his reign as the most player of the games, at least in this split so far. And that'll be his 7th.
7. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Not only to lose game 1 like you did, I would be so unbelievably tilted out of the game. And game 2, looking as it does, your top lane is just completely losing the whole game. Not the lane individually, the laner, but I will say, on a serious note, on a serious analytical point, it feels like 2026, the gold doesn't matter anywhere near as much as it did in 2025. It really doesn't matter. If you aren't on a strong soul, if you don't have Baron, it doesn't matter. You could be down this much gold, and okay, there's been throws, but it's happening in the LCK, it's happened in the LPL a ton. You could blame that on mistakes, but the fact that there are these angles for top laners to TP in with 30% max HP shields, there's so much damage in the game, AD carries 7 items, mid lane upgraded boots. The fact that this can happen means if we're looking at a gold lead and it says 4,000 gold, you still take positive odds for that team to win, but it's about the setup. It's about the team fight so much more than just an individual gold lead.
And that's what's scary about BLG, because for the longest time, BLG has been a team that sometimes they'll just absolutely manhandle early games, but most of the time it was a team that would mess around for the first 15 minutes, lock in, win the game at 25, right? Like, team fights were so centered to how they won games and were so dominant in the LPL, and being able to rely on that is a beautiful strength for BLG moving forward. We'll see what they do moving forward into game number 3, though, as we do have the culmination of today's LPL coming up next.